it's Karen and Bo, and I thought I would do today the BJD Addicts prompt on hobby fears, because until recently I didn't really think I had anything to say on this, and sort of today and last few days I've been thinking about it and I realised that there's actually a ton of things in the hobby that absolutely terrify me. So one thing that immediately springs to mind is doing face-ups. I never really thought of it as something that actually scared me. I thought it was just something that I didn't really want to do. But I've thought about it a bit more closely and I realised it actually is something I would love to do. There's a lot of reasons I sort of can't do it right now. I don't have anywhere to do it. I really have nowhere to store all the materials, and it's a big investment outlay of time and all that sort of thing that I just couldn't put in my life right now. But beyond that, I am actually terrified. And what actually terrifies me about doing it is not actually messing it up and having to wipe it and start again, but is buying all those materials and starting to do it and then thinking, oh, this isn't good enough, and starting again and just realizing that it's not for me and it's far, far, far too tedious. Because that has happened to me before. That's happened to me with sewing. I sewed a couple of things for Bo and then promptly lost interest. I sewed everything by hand and I realised it's just way, way, way too hard, and I don't want to go out and buy a sewing machine and invest in that when I just don't think I have enough interest in sewing to sustain that. So I'm worried about investing in the supplies and then losing interest. Same reason I don't want to buy the sewing machine. Another thing that really terrifies me is buying a blank doll and sending it out to get a face-up. And why that's actually so frightening is because most face-up artists won't accept you on their wait list until you have the doll in hand. So I would have to commit to buying this blank doll, bringing it home knowing that I don't have the supplies to do face-ups all the time, etc. So I've got to then send this doll out, but I haven't got anything already lined up. I can only line it up once I've already committed to the blank doll. That's kind of terrifying. I'm kind of scared of taking my dolls out in public. I've been thinking about taking Bo out to do some photographs, and I've realised I'm just like a little bit scared of doing that. Not hugely, but it occurs to me I've actually never done it before and I am a little bit afraid of that. Another thing that is a little bit terrifying for me is the fact that Bo is in a peach gold resin, and it's a little bit darker than a normal skin, and unlike a normal skin it does not yellow, it greens. So whereas a normal skin fading a little bit to a yellowish colour, probably not that big of a deal, the peach gold fading to a greenish colour, that's kind of terrifying. So I'm a little bit scared of her turning green from being in the sun. So I do like to cover up quite a bit and sort of alleviate that fear. Another thing that I'm a little bit afraid of is just investing a lot in the hobby financially and emotionally and then losing interest in the hobby. I don't really think that that's a huge cause for concern, but as I said, I do sometimes do that where I'll get really, really interested in something and focus on it and sort of burn out. So I definitely think that could happen to me with a hobby, but I do think there are a lot of ways to combat that, so hopefully that's what I would do when I would, maybe sell my doll, buy a new doll, or buy a whole bunch of different stuff for the doll and do a different character with the doll, things like that. Another thing that I'm afraid of that I only realised recently is that I'm kind of scared of buying from a company that I haven't bought from before. I have been thinking about buying a new doll for my character Ryan, and I'm not thinking about going with Iplehouse for a lot of reasons. Probably the number one reason is the sizing issues and the clothing issues. I'm a little bit sick of having that clothing issue with Bo, so for my next doll I'd really like to avoid that. Another major reason is that my Grail doll is basically not an Iplehouse doll. Iplehouse has a number of dolls, I've probably said this before, that I really, really like, and they're definitely on sort of my wish list of ultimate dolls. If I could get whatever dolls I wanted, I would definitely snap up a few Iplehouse dolls. But what I would call my Grail doll is not with Iplehouse. So it's my Grail doll and it fits into normal clothing. That's a winner! That's a lot of incentive for me to go with a company I haven't gone with before. But I've realised that having never held these dolls in person, it's kind of scary because I don't know how good they're going to be. And Iplehouse, I've come to realise, is really, really, really nice. And I'm a bit scared that this company won't live up to my Iplehouse related expectations. I've also been looking at ordering a whole bunch of clothes, shoes and wigs for this doll. And that's also from a company that I haven't dealt with before, but I am so, so keen because the prices are amazing and the quality looks amazing, so I'm really, really, really keen. But I haven't dealt with them before. Their customer service is amazing and their feedback on Den of Angels is amazing and the photographs is amazing, so I'm really, really thinking about doing this if I were to get the doll. But I've realised that I am actually kind of terrified that I'll outlay all this money to get all this stuff, because as I said, we're talking outfits, wigs and shoes for a new doll, and I would want to get, and props, and I would want to get a fair bit of stuff. I would want to get a fair bit of stuff, so it would be quite a significant outlay, and I've realised that doing that with a company where I haven't actually seen the clothes in person, I haven't touched the fabrics that they use, I haven't observed the stitching, I haven't observed the kind of laces and tulle that they might use, and yeah, I haven't really seen how good of a quality they actually are in person. That makes it a bit scary. I'm thinking very, very strongly about taking that plunge, so we'll just sort of have to see how that goes. Okay, as far as fears, that's probably all that I can think of straight off the top of my head, so I think that's going to be it for this video. And we'll see you in the next one. So that's bye for now from Karen and Bo.